Hey folks, back with the review on the new Pau Cubarsi card. Now he's gonna be available for quite some time, so you can sit and think about if you want to go for him or not. So let's jump right in. Now at first glance, I wasn't sure I wanted to spend my coins on this dude because I have been waiting for a Showtime version of him and because he only has 21 levels. But then I took a deeper look into his stats, and if you notice, all of the stats that matter as a build-up player, they're all in the high 70s, especially 79, 78. You're not gonna need a lot of level training to get this card at a competitive level. He actually does get to 100 overall if you're into that kind of thing. I prefer to custom build them even if it's a 98, 99 because we all play different and I like to customize to position play. Plus this card is an upgrade on the GP version that gets you only to a 96. So depending on how you build them, you're gonna get a +4 or +3 on it. And also what really caught my eye is his player skills. Look at this. For a build-up player, he's got everything you need. He's got the one-touch pass, weighted pass, low lofted pass. Once you put him into any team, he's already going to have a low pass above 80 anyways. So you're not even going to have to invest into low passing. When it comes to defending, he checks all the boxes. He's got man marking, interception, blocker, very important, slide tackling, acrobatic clearance, and fighting spirit. So after I saw that, I was in. But I was lucky, as you can see there, I got him on the 4th spin. Now, I'm going to recommend 3 builds. One for the offline folks that just like to play AI events and maybe my league and would like to get his overall to 100, but with a purpose. By what I mean is that you don't just auto allocate him to the recommended. If we do that, here you can see how he's going to look inside. He gets to 100. But if you take a look at the stats, it doesn't look bad. I mean, his defense is jacked up. Speed is decent. Depends on what play style you're using. If you're playing possession, I just don't think that's going to be enough online. But this is not a bad build for the AI, but this is not going to be the recommended build I use if you like to play offline. I mean, the low pass is there at 82. Like I said, any manager boost is going to get him over 80. So you don't even have to spend a single allocation into passing. But if you look at the actual build, they're putting 12 into defending. That's just taking away way too many points for a build-up player. Like if it was a destroyer, I would definitely keep this build. Like that is a banger destroyer build. Anyways, the second build I'm going to recommend is not going to get him to 100, but he's going to be much more competitive if you want to use him for online play. And it's going to be a little bit more meta, especially if you like to play possession like myself. And it also works for quick counter and out wide. I'll also show some clips on why. And finally, the third build is going to be exclusively if you like to play long ball counter. And please make sure you stick to the end because I'm going to give you the additional skills I recommend regardless of what play style. So before we get into the first build, please make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a like, guys. Let's help grow the eFootball community. And I'll start doing reviews specifically on the FC Barcelona cards. And I think that's going to be fun. All right, so let's reset him. And this is my recommended build for offline players if you're going to play my league or just the events. That'd be 0 into shooting, 0 into passing, 1 into dribbling, 2 into dexterity, 4 into lower body strength, 8 into aerial, and 11 into defending. And let's take a look. Now, the reason I recommend this for offline play, number one, you don't need that much speed when you're playing offline, and I play on legendary regardless of the event. So speed is not that important against the AI. So you get very strong defensive numbers. You get the low pass to 82 with some managers. You get the ball control to 80 and tight position to 82, which is going to be good enough for offline play. Got the jumping at 89, physical contact at 88, get them at 100. It's a perfect build to play against the AI. Now, as a possession player, I don't recommend this build. So let's get into the build for possession, quick counter, and out wide playstyles. So let's reset them. That would be 0 into shooting, 0 into passing, 4 into dribbling, 4 into dexterity, 6 into lower body strength, 8 into aerial, and 8 into defending. Now let's take a look. Although his overall isn't at 100, when you play possession, you're playing a very high line. So it's very important for me to have the speed at 84 with the acceleration at 80 to cover the gap that's behind you when you're playing such a high line on possession. So I find speed very important on possession. Here you can see an example of his speed to catch up to a defender when he's a little bit behind. Here you can see how I use speed to actually intercept the play. When it comes to my build-up players, I also like the ability for them to break the line. He actually has the ability to move forward quickly and break the line. That's very different from dribbling. I do not recommend dribbling with any CB. I also find tight possession, see how I got it to 85, extremely important when it comes to positional play. Now, I know I keep saying positional play, but remember, this build is for position, quick counter, and out wide. I just normally default to saying positional. Here you can see, thanks to his tight position, he doesn't easily lose the ball in tight spots. Now, we didn't have to worry about the low pass because by default, it already gets you to an 82. I know I'm getting the manager boost with handsy flick with that +1. Any manager boost is going to get him over 80, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, for a build-up player, like I said, it comes down to speed, making sure he has that physical contact, which he does at 88, bounces at 79. It would have been nice to get one more in there. It would have been nice to get one more into defensive awareness, but this is, for me, the best meta version if you're going to compete online, especially because he's a build-up player. I have competed very well against Division 1 players with a build-up player that only has the numbers in the lower 90s. Now, if he was a destroyer, that's a whole different kind of beast, and that's a different build that I would go for, but he's not. He's a build-up player, so this is my recommended build. Now, let's reset this and get into the final build that I recommend for a long ball counter. This is if you exclusively like to play long ball counter. Otherwise, I recommend the previous build. So it goes like this: 0 into shooting, 3 into passing, 1 into dribbling, 5 into dexterity, 3 into lower body, 8 into aerial, and 9 into defending. Now, if you take a look at the build, why is this good for long ball counter? Number one, you don't need that much speed. So 80, 81 speed, depending on your manager, is going to be more than enough because he's already going to be playing a deep line by default on long ball counter. You do get all of his defensive stats at least at a 90, which is juicy. You get the jumping, the physical contact, and you get the 80 balance. So speed isn't the only factor when it comes to long ball counter. I gave him more passing because when you're playing long ball counter, it is more difficult to pass the ball. So I gave him a +3 to get the low pass to 85, and that's my justification for the long ball counter version of Pau Cubarsi. Now, finally, guys, when it comes to the additional skills, these are my 5 recommended skills. Number 1, aerial superiority. Number 2, heading. Number 3, gamemanship. Reason I like to put gamemanship on my defenders is because a lot of people like to foul you in the back line, and a lot of times the referee doesn't call the foul. You know, they'll shoulder charge you in the final third, and then they just take the ball away from you, and they scored. This doesn't fix that problem, but it does reduce it. I would also put through passing because he's a build-up player, and because he already has the one-touch weighted low-lofted pass, you might as well just go for the through passing. I know most people don't like to put this on CBs, but I play possession, guys. It's also good for long ball counter. Through ball pass, definitely a go. Now, for the last additional player skill, now in this clip here, as you can see, Pau Cubarsi is really good at doing the long ball, and there's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, he already comes with all the banger passing stats. Number 2, I'm actually playing this on pass assist 3, and I'm actually pretty good at pass assist 3, so getting the ball across the pitch like that is actually pretty easy for me, especially if you go into his AI playing styles. You can see he has long ball expert. That's why he's actually very good at making that kind of cross. But if you are playing on pass assist 2, it might not be as easy to do these long ball crosses, so I would recommend pinpoint crossing. Now, if you find yourself achieving that cross play from the deep all the way to your forward, like I did there twice there, and you're playing on pass assist 2 and 1, and you're still able to do that with no problem, then I would just recommend outside curler. Now, outside curler, you say, why are you giving him outside curler? Isn't that for scoring goals with the outside part of your foot? No, if you look at the skill trainer definition inside the game, it says it enables the player to shoot and pass with the outside of his cleat. And since I'm playing on possession and he's a build-up player, you're going to want to play outside curler on him. That's what I'm going to do. I don't need the pinpoint crossing because I'm going to be playing on pass assist 3, and I can just manually pass the ball into space without any problems. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much. Now, we all play differently, so if you have a recommended build, please put it in the comment section, especially if you play possession. You could give me your recommendations. I'll definitely test them, and if any of the recommended builds are better, I'll pin it for everybody to use. Also, special thanks to all the moderators and the memberships. Please consider becoming a membership to help this channel grow and survive. You do that in the video description. Now on the lower left, I'm going to be providing the playlist of all the Barca players I have and will be doing reviews for. I know there's a Marc Gasol card that just came out too, so I'll be doing a review for that card. And also on the lower right is the playlist to My League, which I will be using this card. And before you go, guys, please take one moment, go into that comment section. Please leave a nice little comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.